Hello, good evening, and welcome everyone to another beautiful edition of Impact Conversations. My name is Adeola Babatunde, the convener of the Impact Conversations. And today, like any other, we have a fantastic conversation, a fantastic topic actually, and we have wonderful, seasoned leaders in the industry to discuss with us. And today we have our very first speaker, Olaide Ade. But before I introduce her, I'd like to talk a little bit about the topic that we have in front of us today, the conversation we're going to be having. We're going to be talking about the impact of confidence on workplace performance. So, how does confidence impact on your performance at work? Does it matter? Is there a correlation? Should this be something that we are paying attention to, or we should just forget about it? Right. So we have seasoned speakers who have been part of our cohort and who are coming today to come and share their thoughts and really help us understand the impact of confidence on workplace performance. So without wasting much time, we have our very first speaker, Olaide Ade. I'm saying that we need to read her bio, but I'm going to allow her jump right in. Trust me, she's a seasoned leader, and we're going to read her bio. I believe we'll do that right after her presentation. Olaide, please, is that okay? I sincerely apologize. Can we go ahead?
Yes, please.
Thank you
Yes,
so
please.
much. Thank you so much. All right, so without further ado, I'll leave you in the hands of one of our very seasoned speakers, Olaide Ade, as she takes us on this journey of the impact of confidence on workplace performance. Olaide, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Coach Adiola. Um, a few years ago, I was speaking with a brilliant senior executive, a woman who had risen beyond traditional limits and was respected in the industry. As we wrapped up, she confided in me and said, every time she walks into the boardroom, there's this small voice she hears that says, what if they realize you don't belong here? That stunned me. If someone with her level of accomplishment could feel this way, what hope do other women who have not achieved as much as she has, what hope do they have? That is the quiet power and danger of imposter syndrome, especially among women. My name is Olaide Adefarasin, and today we'll be exploring overcoming imposter syndrome and empowering women leadership. What are the key areas we'll be exploring together? The three key areas we'll be exploring include the why imposter syndrome takes root among women leaders, the strategies to overcome those feelings of self-doubt and inadequacies. And lastly, we would be exploring how to conquer imposter syndrome and transform our leadership styles. Yeah, let's get into it together. So the first area, which is why imposter syndrome. According to a Harvard Business Review in 2021, it was discovered that 70% of humans, of people, especially women, experience imposter syndrome at a point in their career or in their personal life. And more interestingly, a higher percentage of women of color is constantly and persistently affected by imposter syndrome. Let's get into the why. Societal norms has long sent women mixed signals. So the society would tell women, be ambitious, but not too assertive. Be confident, but not arrogant. That is what the society has taught women. Even with higher credentials, with a lot of years of experience and outstanding performances, we still have that nagging voice whispering to most women, telling them, are you sure you belong here? Now, the most interesting part, which is talking about how to silence that inner critics. Michelle Obama, at her level, admitted that she still experienced little imposter syndrome. Just to tell you that imposter syndrome could actually be exhibited in anyone. And then it goes away. It doesn't go away, but the feeling keeps coming. But we need to learn to silence that inner voice that keeps telling us, what if they discover you don't belong here? What if you don't do this right? That is one thing we need to learn to do as women for us to excel in our professional fields. The first lady is human, and then she admits that that actually happens to her. Instead of her maybe succumbing to that voice that keeps saying, what if they discover you don't belong here? She replaced it with, this is where I need to be. This is me doing the right thing I am supposed to do. So the first thing is we need to learn to calm that voice. We need to make a positive inner mind to suppress that inner mind that keeps saying, no, you can't do it. So we replace the na with the nay with positivity. We keep success journals as professionals, even in our personal lives. We need to keep personal journals. These journals will keep reminding us of the successes we've experienced in our professional lives and our personal life. Another thing we also need to do to suppress the inner critics is to have mentors that have exceeded or outperformed us in our professional careers. These people will constantly reiterate things we are not doing right, and then they'll tell us how to get it better. So that's also another strategy. Have good peer networks, people that believe in you, people that are ready to give you the support you need, even when you're down. They're ready to lift you up. That is also a very key strategy we can employ in our journey to overcome that critics, that inner voice that keep telling us, what if they discover you don't belong here? Another thing, act despite the fear. Courage isn't about doubt, isn't the absence of doubts. The doubts will definitely be there, but we should act. If we have anything we want to do, we've prepared maybe a presentation of we plan to get into the boardroom to present an idea. Even as the fear is coming, get into that boardroom, present your ideas. The moment you open your mind, the confidence in you will propel you to greater heights. So there's this short saying that says, it's moving forward with it. The fear will be there. Just keep moving forward with it. And then you see yourself actually achieving what you plan to achieve. And lastly, which is the last area, what is the impact on women leadership style when we eventually have the ability to suppress that inner voice? I will go back to the earlier story I gave about that executive woman who excelled and still had the inner voice telling her, what if they discover you don't belong here? She also had another discussion with me where she said there was a lady on her team who wasn't doing so well, but you would see that she actually has ideas she wanted to present in the team. She took it upon herself to mentor her, to help her get what she needed to get done. She gave her the strategies on how she kept silencing the inner mind that tells us you can't do this. She shared the strategy with her. Guess what? When she was going to leave the last position she was in, that lady was recommended for that position. Meaning, when we mentor the people under us, we propel the leadership styles in them. We propel them to greater heights. That is the impact of being able to suppress the feeling of having imposter syndrome. So I challenge us today that we should encourage to take that calculated risk. When we feel like we can do it, let's take calculated risk. It propels the leadership in us because our ability to suppress that inner mind will take us to greater heights. Let's have the option or the strength to mentor other people. When you support positivity, it helps you to get positive also. Those are the impacts suppressing imposter syndrome have on our leadership style. It helps us also to build inclusiveness. Everyone in the team gets involved. Everybody gets carried along because no one is actually out there to chase your negativity. When leaders are able to suppress imposter syndrome, they excel. Organizationally, they are there. At the executive level, they are there. We don't have lesser number of women at executive level if imposter syndrome is not actually addressed. So the more women are able to address the imposter syndrome in them, the more we see a lot of them being able to occupy executive level. And as a closing remark, I'm going to leave us with this. Overcoming imposter syndrome is not about becoming fearless. It's about refusing to let fear hold you back. If there's anything you're going to take away from this presentation, always remember, don't let that imposter syndrome take you down. Rise above it. When the voice keeps saying, what if they realize you don't belong here? Tell that voice, this is where I actually belong. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ade Farasi. I'm going to read bio just before you go so that people can know what a powerful woman you are and the depth of wisdom that you carry. So Lady Adefarasi is a dynamic and results-driven senior business analyst with over a decade of experience bridging the gap between business needs and technology solutions across industries such as banking, consulting, IT services, and health services. As an IIBA certified business analysis professional, CBAP, Olaide is passionate about driving transformational change through collaboration and process optimization to enable operational excellence. And she just spoke on the topic overcoming imposter syndrome. I particularly loved when you said, when we mentor those under us, we help them to build the leader in them. And you also said, this when you ask the question, are you sure I belong here? The answer is, this is where I need to be. And I want to thank you for being such a passionate leader. I want to thank you for sharing with us on how we can overcome imposter syndrome today. I think you did excellently well. And thank you so much for coming on the show and for sharing with us. Thank you. Do you have any words for our speakers? Do you have any final words concerning imposter syndrome? Do you have like 5 minutes? I just want to know how long you have before you run.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I still have some
Okay.
time. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So I want to ask maybe like about 2 or 3 questions, and then we can let you go. So while you were writing or designing or thinking about this topic, you had women in mind, and you were thinking imposter syndrome stops us a lot because we are thinking, I can't do it, I don't belong here, why should I be here? What do you think personally is at the root of imposter syndrome? I'll ask that question again just to probably give you some time. So, a lot of women complain about this. And what do you think is the cause of this thing? Why don't as much men have this issue? Why do most women struggle with imposter syndrome, in your opinion?
Yeah, that's a very great question. So one of the things I mentioned during the presentation was that the society has not helped a lot. You see that when women are actually doing some particular things that men can actually do as well, there's a certain way they expect women to do those things. Yeah, you can you can be ambitious, but you can't be too assertive. You can be confident, but you can't be arrogant. I mean, men can actually do some things and get away with it, but the society has actually fashioned women to do things in particular way. But when you now see yourself trying to ride above what you're expected to do, the inner mind is telling you, you're not doing the right thing. This is not what women are supposed to be doing. The women are supposed to be quiet. Women are supposed to be seen and not heard. So knowing fully well that you need to rise above imposter syndrome, you have to reorganize the way your brain is thinking. You have to, give yourself a push. Say, hey, yes, I know women are not supposed to be arrogant. I'm not arrogant. I'm actually presenting what I'm supposed to present. I'm actually doing the right thing. It's just a way to, you just have to wire yourself to encourage yourself. Like, I am doing the right things. I am where I am supposed to be. Honestly, the inner mind, critic won't go. We just have to learn to rise above it. We have to, channel the nays to, the yes, like do this, you know. When you see yourself feeling, maybe you want to start a task or you want to start a new business, that inner mind will just keep telling, the inner voice will just keep telling, you're going to fail. What if you fail? You just have to replace it. We're going to start this business. It's going to be an opportunity for me to grow. It's going to be an opportunity for me to learn and get better at it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Such a brilliant response. Thank you. All right. So I wanted to add probably the second question here, which is, have you ever had a time in your life where you felt imposter syndrome? You felt like, I don't think I can do this thing. I don't think this thing is, I think this thing is more than my capacity or capability, and I think it's going to overwhelm me. And how were you able to navigate those murky waters? How were you able to, what did you do? What did you say to
Yeah.
yourself? Did you overcome it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something I experience almost every time when I get into a new job. So a
Okay.
very recent one was a new job I just picked up, you know, as uh, as a professional, as a business analyst. You get to work in various industry. And then the task of the project was a little bit overwhelming, not even at the start, but you could see that the timeline, the task that we're actually gonna the deliverables are going to be intensive. It's going to be time consuming. It's going to take a lot of resources, a lot of planning. So what did I do? I just had to just keep myself. The only way you can get through this is by you believing that you can do it. Always, start with the hand in mind. If you tell yourself, I can't do it, that means you won't be able to do it. And then another thing I said here is having the right network. Surround yourself with people that are better than you, people that when they give you the advice, you can listen, even if you don't understand what they're saying. I mean, you can ask questions. They can help you draw the trajectory of how to actually navigate it. So imposter syndrome comes in all shapes and forms. For me, it's usually maybe when I have a new project that is actually requiring a lot of resources. So what do? I tell myself you can do it, even if you fail. It just means learning and getting better at it.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. We truly are. I'm going to let you go now and have your Sunday to yourself and to as well. Thank you. Please, unlikely at classy. Thank you so much.
I think the line is.
So, sorry, 1 second. I'll just bring you back quickly. Yes, Oladi,
Breaking.
we're
I think
saying?
the line is breaking, but thank you for having me. It was a great pleasure getting to speak on this program. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I was saying thank you for coming, thank you for sharing, and for answering our questions. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. It was a great pleasure.
Good evening. Thank you. And to appreciate Oladi Adi. And just before to our next speaker, we're going to have a brief interview with Olabimpe Mojisola, our very own training manager at the Presenter Rights Academy. Yes, and even inside Olabimpe Mojisola Alale Oma for short. Good evening, Oma. How are you doing today? Ma, can you see us? Can you hear me? Ma, please confirm that you can see and that you can hear me.
Yes, I can now.
Okay, fantastic. So, this is a beautiful and interesting topic. Yes, I can now. It's breaking up a lot, but I can hear you now. All right, Odegwa, please just let me know if you're back and if you're ready so I can know how to
Yes, the
position
internet is.
you for this one. Okay. All right. So, Oma, I was going to ask you a few questions, but I'm not certain that your network is really clear. Yeah, okay. Odegwa says she's back. All right. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so Oma, the network is really wonky, so I'll let Odegwa come on the call, and then we can see if your network turns out better later. All right. So, without further ado, we're moving on to our very next speaker. I will read her bio and I'll tell you about her topic, and then we'll go right in. Odegwa, are you ready for us? Yes, well done. Are you going to share any slides, or are you going to speak from your
Let me
heart?
share my slide.
Okay. Okay, so while Odegwa is sharing her slides, I'm going to read her bio so that we can move along. So Odegwa Monteagu is a project controls and subcontract administration specialist with over 14 years in the oil and gas industry. She is PMP certified. She's PMP certified and experienced within several EPCI projects, having worked with companies like Saipem, Techimont, and Bosco, and others. Odegwa Monteagu is married and family-oriented. She is God-fearing and she values excellence, integrity, and meaningful connections. Today, Odega will be speaking on the impact of confidence on conflict resolution and negotiation skills. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Odegwa Monte Agu. Odegwa, you're welcome. I know you're trying to share your slides. If it doesn't work, no problem. We would still love to hear you. Perhaps you can look at your slides from your computer and speak to us, whichever one works, okay? Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Conflict and negotiation are inevitable in our modern workplace today. Success in handling these situations hinges on communication, hinges on confidence. Confidence itself, it influences proper communication, assertiveness, and outcome. My name is Odegwa Monte Agu. I'll be taking us on a topic: impact of confidence on conflict resolution and negotiation skill. Listed below are the points to carve out my explanations. The role of confidence in conflict resolution, the role of confidence in negotiation, developing confidence for place success, and conclusion. Promotes constructive communication. An organization that thrive excellently in proper communication has invested so much in confidence.
encourages proactive problem solving, and reduces emotional reactivity. It builds trust and credibility. A confident individual has that top notch quality when they have their works done, especially in workplace. I'll take an example. If you see a staff that works for you, over time, you would want the staff to send a draft of of the work that had been done. But if that staff continuously sends you excellent jobs, you so trust that staff that whatever task you give to that personnel, he comes back with top-notch quality, and you no longer care about checking what he does because you have confidence in that person. So one of the roles of confidence in conflict resolution is that it builds trust and credibility. It also enhances persuasion and influence. For instance, you have to carry out a proper training on your personnel for them to be persuaded and be influential. They support assertiveness. For an organization that supports assertiveness, it goes further to say that you encourage them empathetically by including emotional intelligence while ensuring that the works that they do comes out excellently. It fosters resilience. It also increases clarity and decision making. So the role of confidence in negotiation, it increases clarity and decision making. I'll take an example. There was a task that we were performing. It was for us to procure some refractory items from an OEM. So this particular period, the OEM told us that this item was going to be delivered to us in 6 months. So I incorporated that into my schedule. 4 months down the line, some follow-up went on, and this OEM said they had some delays, and our client was waiting for us to, you know, update them on how far with the items that were under delivery that were supposed to be delivered at a particular time. But my team and I had to come together, and we decided to look for that same item within the country. And we found that item, and that made us to be proactive in our doings. And we got a milestone, we got that milestone paid for, and we didn't have an issue with our clients. Peradventure, if the OEM had given us an issue because we were supposed to encounter an issue with the OEM, but because we were proactive, we were able to resolve that conflict by sourcing from within. And the third point is developing confidence for workplace success. What are the items that we need to do to develop confidence in our workplace? Training in communication and conflict management. When you carry out training on your personnel, they are definitely going to develop confidence for better works. I'll take an instance. I think 5 years after I had worked for a particular organization, so they saw most of us as fit for going to deliver some projects in some rural areas. And then the company had to pay some expatriates to take us on some trainings on project management advance. And we all did very well and were transferred into several projects. So these trainings has a way of developing one, especially in workplace. It also exposes us to real life negotiation scenario. I'll also cite an instance. This is like a normal thing I do on a regular at my workplace, where we get to see subcontractors negotiating back and forth, especially when their contracts are running out and they're asking for a review of contract sum, either review from Naira to USD. So these real life scenarios are things that plays out on a regular. So it also further develops confidence at the workplace because it is like expert judgment. You have known from various subcontractors, you have gotten experience in negotiating with them, irrespective of the fact that each subcontractor is unique to themselves. But because it is real, it becomes real to you, but that whatever it is that comes to your table, you're able to navigate around it because you're exposed to that item. Then the third point here is positive mentorship and feedback. So it also develops confidence when a senior personnel at work mentors the younger ones, especially asking them to, reflect on the works they have done. Sometime last year, we were sent a survey to carry out a oh, miss the meeting, sorry. Positive mentorship and feedback. And we carried out this survey of which we had to reflect on the items that we had planned to achieve. Some of them were like 60% achieved, some were even 40% achieved, some of them were just 20% achieved. But that was already September of that year, and we estimated that the items of work that were working on should have been either 70 to 80, 85% achieved, but we had a lot of backlog. So that reflective practice builds confidence. It makes you to work harder. It makes you to reflect at the points that you were supposed to have covered and that you have not covered. So developing confidence at workplace, it's a must. And in conclusion, confidence is a strategic asset in workplace. Anyone who invests in developing its personnel by ensuring that you pass them through trainings, through communication, stakeholder trainings, it gives them that support to be able to stand tall when some tough situations comes in. It also strengthens communication as an assertiveness and collaboration. So a team that collaborates already have built that forming. There's something we call the 5 stages of project management. The first one is the forming, the storming period where everyone is trying to know what's happening, one issue or the other. And then there's the norming, that's when things are normalizing and you see that collaboration is setting in. And then we have the the performing, when people have started performing, performance have started happening because they now understand themselves. And we have the adjoining, that's when everybody is retreating out of the project. The project has gotten a form and they are demobilizing. So, and lastly, I would say investing in confidence development leads to resilient and effective team. When your team is developed appropriately, they become formidable. Thank you so much for listening.
I think my mic is muted. Can you hear me, Odekwa?
I can hear you now. Yes, please. Yes.
Okay. Please myself.
But you're breaking. You're breaking.
So,
You're breaking.
let me see.
I can hear you.
Odekwa, thank you. I'm trying to see if on, but I have. Thank you so much, Odekwa. Beautiful presentation. Thank you for sharing those tips with us on how to build a confident workplace and how to use this to overcome some of the challenges challenges that we have in the place. Oh, fantastic. I see. All right, thank you, Omar. I see. Oh, I have some questions for you. Based, I have some questions for you based on this topic. I want to ask you any time where you were at work, what did you do at that time?
Okay. Yeah, severally. So I would say, especially, I have struggled severally to becoming confident at work, especially in management meetings. All right. So I remember one day I was supposed to be talking on an item. Because of the caliber of persons that were there, I actually did an OP, but within few seconds I had to talk to my inner me that, come on, these guys are human beings like you, and you have to say the points that you came out to talk about here. And that was how I acted, as though none of them were there in that room, and I
Mm,
spoke confidently.
so
And
good.
my boss was in that meeting. When we got back to the office, he was like, "Are you sure you were actually the one talking?" Because he didn't know I actually spoke to my inner me, and then that gave me a nudge.
Thank you. That is so good. So you had a conversation with the inner you to say, these people are human beings just like you. And if you're watching and you're listening, and you ever feel the way of Odegwa felt in that meeting, was saying, talk to the inner you. Remember that the people that you're standing in front of are people just like you. So Odegwa, possibly the final question for today. Someone is listening to us right now, and she's like, I understand that you're talking about the impact of confidence, right? But she's saying, I don't even have confidence. Like, I don't think I'm confident. Odegwa, can you talk to us about one way you have learned over the years on how, or maybe learned in the program, on how to build confidence? One way you have learned over the years on how to build confidence so that this person can learn.
All right. Thank you very much once again for the
Thank you.
opportunity. All right.
Thank you.
So, building confidence is first of all intentional. You have to show up, you have to act, you have to keep doing, make yourself available. For instance, you can see Present Right is a one stop organization that ensures that every woman is confident. If you think you can't do it on your own, after this meeting, I think you should immediately do a chat or a call to Coach Adeola, because we that you're seeing talking here, we also had our struggles and we are still in the process of becoming better. So being confident is not rocket science, and it's also not a big deal. It's something everybody can do, as long as you can speak, as long as you have the wisdom of God inside of you, and you align with the right mentorship, you would grow. So being confident is showing up, is practicing, practicing, and practicing. That's what makes you to become the confident woman or man that you want to be. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Edegwa. It's practicing, practicing, and practicing. And thank you for asking them to chat with us so that they can come and learn and build their confidence. Thank you so much. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. So, without keeping you further, would like to say thank you so much for showing up on the call. Thank you for sharing. I know that you had beautiful slides that you wanted to share with us, but sometimes technology will just not allow us to shine as bright as we want to, right? So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for putting the work together and preparing the slides and showing up. And I know that one of your children wanted to join us on this call. Please tell them to register for the program. Tell him or her to register. That mommy is in a class and he or she should, is it a boy or girl?
Hey, girl.
Okay, so fantastic. So tell her to join us. That we look forward to having her in the next cohort so that she can also deliver
It's
her
all
own
right.
presentation. All right. Thank you so
It's
much,
fine.
Adeba.
It's
We're
fine.
super proud of you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're
All
welcome.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going to bring Oma back on the program. I'm going to bring Oma. She's our training manager, and we're going to just round up as we close. We're going to round up as we close. Hello, Oma. Good evening.
Hello, coach.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, we had tried to bring you on earlier, but I guess the network is doing what the network knows how to
You
do best. I can't even hear you anymore.
look like you're in here.
Yes, it's still breaking. So let me attempt. Let me
So,
attempt and see if this
yeah,
can work. So, all right. So again, as usual, sometimes we have network. I'm struggling to hear
okay.
you. I'm struggling to hear you, but I would just, as we round up, we had this conversation around confidence and helping people to grow in the workplace. You've worked. Could you please share a lesson you've learned over the years on how to build confidence?
Okay. One lesson I've learned is first to be patient with yourself.
Mm,
I heard from both speakers was the fact that the jitters we feel, the insecurities come from the inner voice self.
mm,
So we need to be more compassionate with ourselves. What are we saying to ourselves? You find out that you meet people, you say nice things, and then when you when it comes to yourself, you're critical, and that is affecting your confidence. So I've learned myself to
you?
boost my confidence. Wow, I can hear you. I wonder why that is happening. I can hear you. I said, learn to say the right things to yourself to boost your confidence.
Oh my, I don't know.
Hear me
I
now?
dog. I think it's probably mine. Um,
Okay, okay. It again, be compassionate to yourself. Learn to say the right
yes.
things.
I
That will
struggled to
take
hear. It
care
was going
of
off in
the
and out,
inner critic.
but we're going to bring the stream to a close. I struggled to hear you. I think it might
Okay.
also be my network, but we're going to bring the stream to a close because it's just going in and out. But I want to thank everyone who joined us. Okay.
Okay, so we lost Coach Adeola there. We would like to appreciate you for staying and being part of this impact conversations. We trust that having watched this, you will start to put the inner critic to silence and then start to take action. Thank you for joining us. Have bye for now.